Hi, everyone, and welcome to our screen recording about alcohol. We are getting into the addiction and substance use part of our health class. It goes along with mental health. It's different, but they kind of complement each other, and we'll see why that is in a bit. Some basic facts about alcohol. Ethanol is the type of alcohol that's found in alcoholic beverages. It's powerful and it's addicting and it's a drug. Alcohol initially provides a rush for the person that's using it, and this can mask its effects of being a depressant. In reality, it slows your body down. That's what depressants do, and alcohol is no exception to that. Teen influences of alcohol use. I found this online and it was just a survey of teens that are drinking. This is the reason that they're doing it. The most prevalent reason is to have fun, some to relax, to feel good, to forget about troubles, to experiment, relieve boredom, deal with pressures, fit in, and to deal with problems at home. As you can see, all of these things can be dealt with in a much better way than using substances. Because what can happen when you're trying to use substances in order to avoid a feeling or to feel a feeling like fun or relaxation is you can develop a dependency. And that is not something that you want to ever have to deal with. Alcohol abuse and violence. People that drink are more likely to be victims of or perpetrators of violent crimes. It can increase their risk of taking part in risky behaviors like premarital sex, unplanned pregnancies as a result, robbery, driving recklessly, driving under the influence, etc. It leads to bad decisions because since it is a depressant, it suppresses the part of your brain that's responsible for making decisions. And if under 21, the drinking age is 21, so if under 21, it's illegal to buy, possess, or consume alcohol anyway. Factors that influence the onset of effects of drinking: body size and gender. Smaller people are going to feel the effects faster, as will females. Food is going to slow the effect of alcohol and the amount and rate of intake. If somebody is drinking too much or too fast, the liver can't keep up and it can't process the alcohol, and that could lead to possible alcohol poisoning, which is very dangerous. Some standard drink measurements: 12 fluid ounces of regular beer, that would be about 5% alcohol. 8 to 9 fluid ounces of a malt liquor, this is a 12-ounce glass, that's going to be 7% alcohol. 5 ounces of table wine, 12%. And a shot, which is 1.5 fluid ounces of 80 proof alcohol spirits, that would be 40%. So just giving you some standard drink measurements and the percent of ethanol or the alcohol that is in alcoholic beverages that are in each of those drinks. Alcohol poisoning can occur if somebody is engaging in binge drinking, that's drinking 5 or more drinks at one sitting. And again, that's very dangerous. It's Alcohol poisoning is severe, it's potentially fatal, and if somebody is showing the signs or symptoms of alcohol poisoning, if they're unresponsive, it's important to call 911 immediately or find somebody that knows CPR and make sure that you get help. Symptoms of alcohol poisoning, like we were talking about in the last slide: mental confusion, inability to be woken up, so they're unconscious, vomiting, seizures, slow breathing, 10 seconds between breaths, irregular heartbeat, hypothermia, pale skin, or severe dehydration from vomiting. Any one of these are signs and symptoms of alcohol poisoning, and it requires somebody to call 911 right away. And like we talked about before, using alcohol to suppress feelings or feel certain things can lead to dependencies, and that dependency is known as alcoholism. Stages of alcoholism: it begins with abuse. So this is stage one. It begins with social drinking or drinking to try to relax or to have fun. And usually at this point, the person says, oh, it's under control. I'm only doing it on weekends. I'm only doing it at certain points. Over time, this, though, becomes the primary stress reliever of that person. The person begins to lie about drinking or how much or how often they're drinking, and then their tolerance starts to build. And what happens when a tolerance builds in somebody is that they're going to need more of that drug to feel the same effects. If a person builds up a tolerance to drinking, maybe instead of 1 or 2 beers in order to feel the effects of alcohol, they're going to need 3 or 4. That's building up their tolerance, and having more of that drug in order to feel some sort of effect can be really harmful and very taxing on the body. Stage 2 is then a dependence. The person can't stop drinking due to the physical dependence. So if they do try to stop, they're going to feel physical ramifications. The alcohol becomes their main focus. Their job, family, and schoolwork will start to suffer, and the drinker can make excuses and blames others for their problems. Then the last stage is addiction. Drinking is the most important thing, in that person's life. They often don't see it though. They again are making excuses like, oh, well, I only do it X amount of times a week or a day, or I only have this many drinks in one sitting. Regardless of if it's manageable, it's the person's life is spiraling out of control. Liver damage is common when people are at this stage, at this addiction stage. Cirrhosis is when the healthy liver is replaced with scar tissue. And if they would stop, again, they would start to experience severe withdrawal symptoms. And that's when it's good to go to a rehab facility in order to get them detoxed and ready to start their life over, really. So addiction can be very hard on the person, obviously, physically, mentally. Every part of their life is going to be affected by this. And also, it's going to affect the people around them as well, majorly. And I attached this link here. It will give you a good idea of when it is time to seek treatment, what you can do to support somebody that is suffering with alcoholism or maybe you feel like is a bit too dependent on alcohol. And it has a lot of good information, screening tools, anything else that you feel like you might need. So I'm going to include this in here as well. And as I said before, consuming alcohol is extremely taxing on the body because it is a toxin, it is a drug, and it's going to have a major impact on a lot of different systems of the body, as you can see here. The brain and nervous system is probably one of the most prevalent ones because it's obvious when a person has been drinking. The thought processes slow down, they're impaired, mood changes, loss of memories or blackouts, and disrupted sleep patterns. um, Alcohol levels in the breath rise. That's going to be how it affects the lungs, the skin, flushing and sweating. The person's cheeks may start to get red. The pancreas and sugar balance, sugar levels in the blood lower, decreases your blood sugar. It affects the stomach and intestines, bones and muscles. It causes muscle impairment, difficulty walking that can lead to broken bones and sprains. Kidneys and fluid balance, more urine is made because the kidneys, remember, are detoxifying, so they want to try to flush the toxin out. Loss of minerals, dehydration. The liver is, remember, also detoxifying, so it's also going to try to break down the alcohol and get it out of the body. And if there's too much alcohol, then the liver is going to be severely impacted and it could lead to liver cirrhosis. The blood in circulation, alcohol levels in the blood are going to start to rise. The alcohol moves rapidly to all parts of the body, and that could include an unborn baby if that person is pregnant, which can be very dangerous and can lead to something known as fetal alcohol syndrome. The mouth and throat, slurred speech, and the eyes, blurred or double vision. Thinking about all of these and then thinking about the fact that some people will drink and then drive is so scary because, as you can see, it's affecting the brain and nervous system and the eyes so majorly. So it's really, really scary, and it's really something that we all need to pay attention to. And that's why the laws are so strict on drinking and driving, because it is such a dangerous thing. Really just looking at all of these different parts of the body that can be affected by alcohol and thinking about the mental aspect of the dependency and possibly addiction. It's really important to understand the effects that alcohol have on the body and on the mind, and to know that it's important to make safe and wise decisions. If you have any questions or if there's anything else that you want me to cover about alcohol, please feel free to let me know. So we'll do this and then we'll watch a few videos about people that do have an alcohol dependency and what alcohol does to the brain and the mind. And again, if there's anything else you feel like you want to know a little bit more about, then please let me know. Talk to you guys soon.